The rumble at the table, the thriller with no vanilla. Get ready for some holiday hostilities as we pit the pumpkin pies of two heavy hitters, Costco and Sam's Club, against one another to determine the dessert champion.
Pies, 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 pies.
Before we set these pies against each other, let's talk logistics. Both Costco and Sam's Club sell their pumpkin pies as seasonal items. Typically, they both hit shelves at some point in September and stick around into December. The exact date is not announced, so toward the end of the season, it's a buy-it-when-you-see-it situation. When you buy them, the plastic containers the two pies come in have very different designs. The Sam's Club container is just a basic plastic circle. The Costco one is a little wider and has little handles and divots in it, which made getting the pie out and putting it back in easier. Costco has not changed its recipe in over 30 years, so it must have something going for it. The Costco pie starts with a base of pumpkin, sugar, water, eggs, flour, and shortening, and also includes cornstarch, non-fat milk, corn syrup solids, salt, canola and/or soybean oil, spices, and dextrose. It's not exactly a home-style recipe, but it's nothing too bad. The Sam's Club pumpkin pie has pumpkin, water, sugar, flour, palm and soybean oil shortening, palm oil, eggs, non-fat milk, corn syrup, food starch modified, soybean oil, salt, spices, dextrose, citric acid, carrageenan, potassium sorbate, yeast, cornstarch, konjac flour, sodium propionate, and xanthan gum. Obviously, the ingredient list for the Sam's Club pumpkin pie is much longer. They add a lot of preservatives and thickeners, which aren't without value, but will change the consistency of the pie itself. We have to wonder why these two pies, which should be fairly similar, have such different ingredients. Sam's Club puts its nutrition information right on the label. Costco, curiously, does not. They also don't post it on the website. So we went to Instacart, which had a copy of the nutrition label. Both Costco and Sam's Club recommend 12 servings for each pie, and the stats for a serving are pretty close, though Sam's tops Costco out on just about everything. A serving of Costco pumpkin pie has 320 calories, 50 fewer calories than the 370 calories you get from a Sam's Club slice. The Sam's Club pie is also slightly higher in fat, at 15 grams versus Costco's 11 grams. A slice of Sam's Club pumpkin pie has 54 grams of carbs and 34 grams of sugar, while Costco's has 48 grams of carbs and 31 grams of sugar. Most standard pies are somewhere between 8 and 9 inches, but we're talking Costco and Sam's Club. They do not do anything small, and both their pies are 12 inches in diameter. Those few inches mean a huge difference in area. A 12-inch pie is roughly 113 square inches, whereas a 9-inch pie is approximately 64 square inches. The pies also weighed in for their bout, of course. The Sam's Club pie came in at 1,687 grams. The Costco pie was slightly larger, at 1,758 grams. For comparison, an 8-inch pie from Target weighs just 510 grams, so even with a slight weight difference, it's clear both of these pies are humongous. The price difference between these two pies is all of 1 penny. A Costco pie in our area costs $5.99, while the Sam's Club pie is $5.98. That said, the prices of each vary from location to location. And even though Sam's just barely wins on base price, the Costco pie weighs more. When you break the price down per ounce, Costco is the winner. Both pies are frankly an incredible deal. That 8-inch pie at Target costs $7.99, and a similarly sized pie at Whole Foods is a whopping $13.99. We frankly have to wonder if either Costco or Sam's Club is making any money at all on these pies.
Can you make much money on those pumpkin pies, Ma?
Oh, about enough to buy wool for another pair of socks, I guess.
The crusts on these two pies are very different. The Sam's Club pie did not flex at all as we took it out of the plastic container. It stayed rigid as a board. That's great for transport, but unfortunately, it tasted like a board too. The crust is thick and dry and has an unpleasant aftertaste that does not pair well with its creamy filling. The Costco crust, on the other hand, was thinner and more crumbly, and it melted in the mouth. There was no weird aftertaste, and it allowed the custard to be the prominent flavor. The Costco crust is still a grocery store crust, and nothing like a homemade one, but it was at least pleasant enough to eat. Notably, Costco touts its crust as being made in-store. The star of the show here is really the pumpkin custard, and the custards in each of these pies were starkly different. We would say that Sam's Club is more custard, whereas Costco's is more pumpkin. The Sam's Club pie was notably lighter in color and offered a smoother and less flavorful filling. The darker Costco custard, on the other hand, offered a richer pumpkin flavor with more pronounced spices and a taste of brown sugar. The Costco custard was also far more moist than Sam's Club. The Sam's Club custard was firm and had a thicker consistency, almost like a cheesecake. Neither custard was bad, and a preference between the two will likely come down to personal tastes. But to us, a pumpkin pie should taste like pumpkin and spices.
It's pumpkin mini!
It wasn't especially hard for us to choose a winner, Costco, but maybe not for the reason some might think. The deciding factor was the crust. The Costco crust was simply better. It was not exceptional, but it did the job. The Sam's Club crust was ultimately too tough. It provided good support for transport, but it didn't make for the best consistency when trying to eat it, and the flavor was just not there. When it came to the pumpkin custard base, Sam's Club loaded its pie with so many thickeners that it looked great, but it just did not have that soft and creamy taste of a classic, simple pumpkin pie. It almost feels like Sam's Club focused on looks and forgot about taste. The custard was not bad, and we're sure there's a market for a thicker consistency. But at the end of the day, it simply can't compare to the simple, effective Costco pumpkin pie.